This is the story of a girl. Boys and girls, you are looking at my very own sweet blue-colored Charvel DK24 2-point HH blah, blah, blah. Model names these days. This guitar has become my new number one. This is my go-to guitar when I sit down to play or to practice because it feels so dang good. I believe that Charvel has set aside some of the nostalgia of guitar playing and allowed themselves to actually evolve the instrument of guitar a little bit further and to make it into something that's better for us as players. In the past, I have pretty much always owned, for years and years and years, played Telecasters and Les Pauls and stuff like that. So very traditional style guitars. So it was very weird for me to end up with what is essentially a sort of shredder guitar. Now, this thing can shred, but I am here to tell you today, I think this guitar should be in the hands of more players than just your typical shredder players. This is a guitar that can play a lot of different tones and I think is looking towards the future of guitar making, which is a good thing. So let's begin with the neck. This is, of course, a roasted maple neck, which, as far as I understand it, they just put it in the fire. I mean, they don't burn it, but like they dry the wood out and it gives it this sort of darker color. I know it's a little controversial. I keep seeing comments of people online saying they're not a fan of the darker wood, which I can understand. Maple, the nice bright maple is cool, but keep in mind they don't all look the same color. In fact, they vary quite a bit. So if you're planning on getting a guitar like this or anything with a roasted neck, make sure you can get a picture of the actual guitar from the seller. The real point is this neck feels utterly amazing. Now, like I said, I play these very thick neck guitars. This thin neck is not too much for me. It doesn't feel too weird for me. It feels like it fits right in my hand. My hands are maybe medium, small, something like that. This neck feels so, so, so good. The finish on the back, the rolled edges on the fingerboard. This guitar is just begging to play quickly. There's just nothing about it that makes me feel like I'm going to play sloppy. It's so accurate and so nice. Okay, and then the body, this is what they call a DK, which stands for dinky. This body is a strap body, but it's a little bit smaller. It's kind of hard to notice, to be honest. I think the idea was to shave some weight. The real selling point here, though, is all of the carves that are cut into this thing, especially right here at the neck joint. Now, there's no backplate, which I love. Again, I think that's a very modern idea. I think more guitars should do that. And this curvy, I don't know, they call it the shredder's heel cut, I think. This thing feels so good. This guitar, of course, has 24 frets, something else I wanted to experiment with. It was new to me. And to really get up there and access and reach those things, it's not just about clearing room down here for your hand to actually slide in there. It's definitely about how much can you stretch your fingers past the neck joint here, because your palm is always going to hit it. When it's carved like this, it's so much simpler. There's, of course, your little belly relief cut thing. There's this lovely contour back here, and of course, the input jack. This is the coolest thing ever. This input jack being on the back like this. Surprisingly great feature. It really gets the cable out of the way. It doesn't interfere with your strap. You can use right angle, straight cables. It keeps the guitar looking clean. I love this guitar. There's so many good things about it. Also new for me was the satin paint job. In the past, I'm kind of used to that like 2000s era where satin or like nitro paint jobs are really just cheaper. So you could buy yourself a Gibson, but it wasn't going to have a nice paint job on it. I just didn't like that. This is not that. These satin paint jobs are actually high quality. This is every bit as good as something you would get in gloss, but instead of being glossy, it's got like that satin look to it. Now, I was a little afraid I wasn't going to dig it, but it's so sweet. I mean, the color, everything about it, it feels really nice on the hands. So if you're a little afraid of this, go find one in a shop. Go touch this guitar. You're going to love it. And that really brings me to my next point, which is that this guitar is an import. This is a Fender product made in Mexico. And historically, I've been a bit of a snob, I'll admit, and I've really always loved to play these American-made guitars. There's lots of reasons, but it's not just, oh, the name on the headstock. For me, it really is just how they feel. It's so important to me. This guitar does not feel, look, or play like a crappy import. It is every bit as good as the American-made stuff that I've owned, and honestly probably better in a lot of ways. I mean, we're talking fretwork that is just amazing, and the fit and finish. There's just no detail on here that when I look at it, I think, oh yeah, that's just, it's because it's cheaper. They're trying to save money there. That never crosses my mind. Now, full disclosure, I bought this guitar as a B stock. So mine had, I think, a tiny little paint chip down here by the pickup, maybe a little ding in the headstock or something. So I got a great deal on it. Now, let's talk about the pickups. I know I said earlier this is not strictly a shredder guitar, but yeah, this bridge pickup is the Seymour Duncan full shred. Definitely a hot pickup. There is a lot of output here. You can just tell. All right, that's your bridge. That's your neck. There's a pretty big difference in output between the two. Now, I don't think there's a gigantic difference in volume, but how hard they're hitting the front of the amp changes quite a bit. As a result, that's actually part of the thing that gives you such a wide variety of tones in this guitar, is the fact that you got a hot pickup and a not so hot pickup. For pickup switching, you have your standard 5-way blade, and then you've also got this little switch here. All of the 10 positions have got some form of hum canceling, which is really important for me. The room that I'm in, for whatever reason, dude, it just sucks. There's so much extra RF interference, I don't know what you call it, but every guitar I own picks up a ton of buzz in here, so the noise canceling I appreciate. Now, with those 10 positions, it's not just that this guitar is trying to mimic single coils or, oh, it's going to cover a lot of tonal ground, which is what people say. It is definitely going to do that, don't get me wrong, but I think that there's some genuinely good and creative and kind of new sounds in here. The other thing that I think is that having these 10 positions allows you to do some more subtle tone shaping that you might not be able to do otherwise. For example, in position 4, right, with the switch down, I believe these are in series. A little bit of quack, maybe kind of a Strat E type of tone in there. Flick at the switch. All right, the difference between the two is pretty subtle. But sometimes that's what you want. Instead of reaching for an EQ, instead of trying to click on some new pedal, using your guitar and having the tone shaping closer to your hands can be a really good thing. So what I really like is this first position, because you got your full humbucker experience. But then with the flick of a switch, there's seriously a kind of a Telecaster vibe going on. Again, I don't want to just be like, oh, it's mimicking single coils, but it kind of is. And it's very cool because there's times when that's what you want. You want to be like really rocking out. And then maybe kind of back things off a little bit. Check this out. I mean, it's pretty nice. It's pretty glassy. I play in church. I play this guitar in church. It does look maybe slightly ridiculous, but you can take this guitar places, my friends. The tremolo. Let's talk about this better than average tremolo. This is a Goto 510. This is the kind of thing you would mod other guitars to fit this tremolo in there. I think it's very good. Everyone's gonna be like, "Ow, I heard it falls out of tune." Guess what? Guitars fall out of tune. Even guitars with a Floyd Rose will fall out of tune. The question is, how well do they stay in tune? Like with any tremolo guitar, I think the actual key is this. You gotta have it set up. I do my own setups here, so I can take all the time to really get it just how I like it. When a guitar with a tremolo is set up correctly, it will stay in tune very well. Eddie Van Halen did the Eruption solo and freaking toured with an old school, like 50s style Strat tremolo. So you can get over yourselves in the comment section. That's what you can do. Wow, the knobs. We gotta talk about the knobs. It's just... The knobs, dude. The knobs are so good. Oh, the delay's still on. This knob, the volume knob, is a Bourne's low friction. Didn't think I ever wanted that in my life. Now I can't live without it. I'm going to put it on all my guitars. Oh, it wouldn't be a product review of mine if I didn't have at least a couple of things that I hate. Not really anything I can say that I hate about this guitar, but maybe kind of. Okay. This input jack on the back, I love where it is and the style. It's nothing about that. It's nothing about the position or that kind of unique thing that they've done there. The actual jack itself isn't the greatest, and when I got mine, I had to kind of like take it out, bend it so it hold the cable a little bit better. It's still not doing the greatest job, so I'm going to swap that out. That may be just this one. I don't know, but I'm going to find myself a real high-quality jack for that. I love this guitar as it is, but there's some things I'm definitely going to change because I just can't help myself. I want this guitar to be perfect just for me. Number one is I am going to be swapping out the bridge pickup. I'm going to be moving to a Seymour Duncan Model 78. I really want that Van Halen sound. This pickup I'll probably keep. It's a nice high-gain pickup. I just want something a little more PAF-esque in my sound repertoire. I love this guitar. I'm not changing anything else. You don't need to. The final verdict here is this is a high-energy guitar for some sick shredding that also has a softer side. It really does cover a lot of ground. This is a guitar that's looking forward. And my hope is that some 15-year-old sees this and is like, bro, I'm getting that guitar and I'm coming up with something new. Do it. Take advantage of all the technology that you have at your fingertips to create new art. I think it's a good thing. Rock and roll's kind of been, in decay as of late, and I think things like this may help bring it back to the fore, but with a nice fresh coat of paint, if you will. Now, I know that you like this video because you're still watching here at the end, so now it's time to actually like this video. It's also some time to subscribe to the channel. I don't just do guitars around here, I do a lot of that, but this is an audio engineering channel, okay? We cover all the goodies for recording and podcasting and, music production. So, stick around. Listen, I was going to do some good outro, but I don't have anything. So just keep coming back, okay?